What's up, guys? Ignoble here. So, there's this new game that came out kind of 2 weeks ago, I think, because I got it on Wednesday. I know I haven't really been putting up some stuff, but this is a new video, and I know the fire is going up because I don't have anything to show for this. So, I will be making further videos, but I'm just trying to get the hang of this game. I know it's, like I said, I only got it on Wednesday, and the game is called 7 Days to Die. So, people have been saying that this game is crap, too buggy, and pretty much giving it a bad rep. But there are some good aspects to it. I mean, so far, the game has never crashed on me. The game has never bugged on me. I've never had a problem with it, but here are a few simple tips for this game on how you can survive and last a really long time without having to blow your brains out because of these zombies that can potentially wipe you out, because this game actually beats you to the ground and makes you actually feel like you are in a zombie apocalypse. So let's get this started. My first tip is, okay, when you first start the game, you're going to be presented with two little messages saying, okay, this is the object of the game, and this is what you can do to survive. They teach you the basics. Now, I suggest you guys do those basics only because that gives you an early game lead with some experience. So, and it also gives you a basic tool, some defense, and two weapons. They give you a bow and arrow, well, you gotta make it, and they give you a club. It may seem really simple and primitive, but it gets the job done until you start going out and exploring, go scavenging, actually surviving. Now, honestly, I love this concept. It is a very well done concept, but this game is still in beta, I know. And there are some bugs. I mean, I've only run it, like no bad bugs that I've run into, but like maybe, the game will glitch off like maybe 2 seconds because it's got to render the world. Now on PC, that's like a huge freaking problem. Because, whatever, and PC gamers are supposed to master race, I call it bullshit, but whatever, I'm not getting into it. So, my second tip, in order to survive for the first couple of days on your own, if you don't find a pre-made house, whether you're on the default where everything's laid out for you, or you go on random jet, I strongly advise you find a safe and secure area, preferably in the winter biome. Hear me out. Only because that is an unlimited source of water. Because, all the snow, you can literally boil it down into murky water, then go into the aspects of getting fresh water if you find a pot, because you have to boil the water in order to make it drinkable. But that's totally up to you guys where you want to start out. That's whatever. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on to give an early game advantage for survival, like they only give you one thing of food, one thing of water. Now, honestly, that is pretty fair because they give you one medical, a torch so you can see where you're going, and after the tutorial you'll be able to survive for a little while. Now, sorry, I just ate, but now this is a crucial point because when you go hunting, say you decide to hunt, you're not going to be very good at it unless if you, like bow and arrow, like you actually have to angle your shots, this, that, the other thing. But when you get it, save the meat you get for the sheer fact of survivability, because you're only going to get maybe 3 or 4 pieces because you won't have a bone shiv. That's into my next tip. If you go into a hunting area and if you don't find a knife, machete, anything bladed, or even any bones for that matter, or a zombie where you can just literally get the bones, you really have to play it safe and kill a few zombies in order to get these bones. So then with the bone shiv that you can make, and that also increases your skill, that allows you to get animal fat, which allows you to make candles for light. It allows you to get the rotting meats, which is, personally, I say a last resort if you have no meat, because that is the only obtainable food source for that time. And, it also can get you leather, which also gives you some defenses, but you have to find the schematics. But what I was really going in for was cotton. Cotton can pretty much help you survive for a really long time, because if you are in the winter biome, it gets very cold, and you have to actually manage your body temperature and what have you. So with that, find as much cotton plants as you can. You pick them up, you refine them into either pieces of cloth or the seeds. The seeds allows you just to grow them, obviously. The cloth fragments allow you to make armor and bandages, so you get a double advantage right there if you have enough. Now, the next thing I wanted to, get into is when you obtain your hammer, your rock hammer, or rock axe, I don't know what it's called offhand, that allows you to get some stone off a rock, so you go ding, ding, and you see you get stones in the corner, and possibly iron, which is very, very good. Also, you can use it as an axe to get some wood, which is another thing that's going to lead into my next tip, but just hear me out. Now, when you kill zombies with this axe, stone axe, all you do is just bash them in the head, obviously, because that's what you do. You pretty much kill the brain, which kills the body. But with this, it allows you to get the bone shivs, it allows you to get the meat, but before you actually kill this thing, after you kill it, your first zombie, and you get the stuff you need from him, create as many bone chips as possible, because that also increases your blade skill and your crafting. Now, with that, this goes into my third tip. Once you have this axe and you start chopping down a lot of trees to get wood, set up wherever you want, preferably near water, because if it gets too hot, jump in there. It'll say you are wet, because that actually plays a vital point. But say if you're in like a desert area and you're living on the coast, that's great, and you can also use that water to get drinking water, whatnot, right there. Right now where I'm living in my house on my solo world, I found a house, I refined it, put spikes everywhere. Simple, easy, to the point. So now once you start gathering all this wood and you want to make a house, the most effective way to do this is to create the wooden frames, because they are made very easily instead of actually going through the entire process of getting the log cabin blocks, because you're not getting the amount that you need very quickly, because it takes about 5 seconds for one block. Yes, I said block. This game is like Minecraft, but a little bit better if it can be refined and more updates come out to actually fix the few bugs that are out there, but the ones I haven't experienced that PC flips out over, whatever. So now this leads into once you have the home set up, now you're gonna have all these blocks. You can usually do like a simple Minecraft house, 5x5, do the floor, do the roof, walls, you're done. Cool, that's a basic survival house that'll get you through the day. But as the days go on, you're going to find out that it is very hard to actually survive if you don't have the room. So that's where, building chests, building up your food, this, that, the other thing. And now this leads into hunting and gathering food. So when you actually have your said supplies and you decide to go hunting, as I said previously, it is very hard, because people say, oh, the animals run too fast, I can't keep up with them, this, that, the other thing, they get frustrated. But if you actually take your time and go through the process of actually crouching down, trying to aim for the head, not the heart, because an instant shot to the head, dead. And as long as you have your bone chip with you, you can get leather, animal fat, actual meat, and possible bones for more bone chips, so that's very good. And from there on, you can possibly find food in a trash can, a garbage that's on the floor. You search a house, hell, even search the zombies, because I have, in my experience of playing this game, I have come across a zombie having a can of peas, beef stew, chili, and all this other stuff, which is actually surprising, but I'm not going to question it. So, with that, this comes into where you have to actually save your food. So, as you let it build up, the more you're going to have to survive. Now, here is a crucial tip to actually increasing your health and stamina overall. If you find green vitamin tablets, and if you find blueberry pie, meat stew, and anything like that to actually build up your stuff, save them until you have stacks of the stuff. It only goes up to 50, starts a new stack. So now whenever you're hungry, thirsty, or whatever, this will keep you alive for a very good portion of the game. Shit. Sorry about that, I was grabbing my charger cable because my controller turned off. So, once you have all this food, that's great for you. So now this is, once you have your food and your basic shelter has been built, this is where you can potentially leave your said home once you set up your defenses, your bed, and the basic stuff. So now, when it comes to ammo, guns, weapons, means of defending yourself, this is something I learned the hard way, because I thought ammo would be kind of, easier to find, and if you can find it on a zombie, you can find it anywhere. Yeah, that's true, but only in small amounts. So any ammo you come across, save it, let it stack. If you find gun parts, save them, because you will find schematics eventually to actually build the gun. Then once you read the schematic, you can then repair your weapons. You can build better weapons. If you find better parts, you can learn to scavenge, and say you find a pistol barrel like the one you have is, say, average, and you find a upgraded one, your pistol is going to be putting out a lot more, and also increases its durability. With that, that's how all of the basic ammunition and guns come into play. But the unlimited source of ammunition that is the most effective is arrows. You can make them whenever you want. They do a substantial amount of damage. Hit them in the head. It won't kill them right away, but it'll stun them for like a quick second. You pop another one, they're on the floor, take the hammer, or if you find a knife, right to the skull. So, with that, don't, shut out anything. Like, say if you eat a can of peas or whatever, and you get the actual can back, that can actually help you into creating ammunition. Because when you scrap that, you get the iron, which you actually need. And that makes a huge difference, because yes, you can create your own ammo. Now, so far, this is the only survival game I've actually seen that made possible. But you have to upgrade your gun skill, which, comes from crafting, finding more guns, using them as it progresses, that speeds it up. But ammo is very scarce unless if you find more. And yeah, so now the easiest way to snipe zombies, it may not be the most effective, but like I said, it gets the job done. Bow and arrow. And if you actually manage to find a crossbow blueprint, I strongly advise you build that, because that is more accurate and you can actually aim down the sights. I've used it before. It's actually very useful, and the bolts to for ammunition is really easy to make, and it gives you the entire layout of what you need, but it doesn't tell you where to find them. So that's where the actual survivability scavenging comes into play. So with that, make arrows whenever possible, save your ammo until you can build more. Okay, now this is where, I say the survival actually really comes in, so play it safe whenever possible. If you ever go out venturing, always have the basic supplies to actually get the job done, but don't take too much where you can't actually find the good stuff. So, and if you are going venturing and say you get caught out at night when the zombies run at 2200 hours, and say you find a shelter, make sure you have wood on you so you can make a few blocks. You can upgrade the door, you can make blocks to cover up the windows, and you can basically survive out the night. Also, now this is something I've actually come into play a lot with. Save the painkillers, the medkits, antibiotics, everything. Save it all. Let it build up. Then, when you go out venturing, you're fine. You can survive almost anything. So now, really, that's all I have. Also, like I said, save everything, because it may seem like you're a pack rat, but later on, that shit will come in handy. So, this is the end of the video, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. And personal tip, don't say this game is shit all because it looks kind of dated, but it feels vintage. It brings back an original horror feel. If you like Resident Evil, you're probably going to like this. If you like Minecraft, you're going to love it. So, like I said, I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe for more content, and there will be another video up shortly. Have a good one.